Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, families and friends. We are very excited to have you joining us this evening for an important event honoring 17 women from the San Antonio area. I'm Sarah Lucero, your Mistress of Ceremonies for the evening and a 2008 Hall of Fame inductee as well. Now, this is the 37th induction ceremony, and although it's the first virtual induction ceremony, the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame is not going to allow a pandemic from taking this incredible event from taking place. Now, at this time, I would like to welcome Minerva Minnie Abrego Sanchez, as we all know her, who currently serves as president of the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame, and Sandy Bryan Marion, the organization's very first vice president. Ladies?
On behalf of the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame Board of Directors and membership, we congratulate our 2021 inductees, and we extend our deepest gratitude to all of you for your attendance and support of our mission. Sandy?
The mission of the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame is twofold. First, it's to recognize and honor outstanding women in the community for their service and contributions through induction into the Hall of Fame. In the fall of 2019, we received 53 applications for the 2020 induction ceremony. The selection committee, which consists of several members and 3 non-members from the community, then met, reviewed, discussed, evaluated, and ultimately recommended the women that we honor tonight. After a very long year, the board and membership are proud to induct 17 outstanding and exceptional women into the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame. Each honoree has an integral role in her profession and has made significant and historic contributions to our community and beyond. They will be presented tonight with our Legacy Glass Iceberg Award. Like an iceberg, 90% of their work never surfaces, but their efforts and ripple continue to do positive and meaningful things. Minnie?
The second part of our mission is to provide funding for higher education attainment for deserving local young women pursuing a college education and to promote their individual development to improve their status, interests, and needs of our community. Tonight, we thank you for your presence and support at this virtual induction gala ceremony, which honors the inductees and sustains our scholarship gap funding assistance to graduating seniors at the nationally recognized Young Women's Leadership Academy, which accepts students from all of Bexar County. Once again, we thank you for your attendance and for your support of the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame mission.
Thank you, Minnie and Sandy, for sharing the goal of the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame and the purpose of this beautiful ceremony honoring the 2020 inductees into the Hall of Fame. Now, Minnie mentioned the Young Women's Leadership Academy, which is often referred to as YWLA. Now, I want to remind you that you can make a direct donation to the YWLA Scholarship Fund by using the information on the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame website or the URL that's scrolling across your screen right now. Now, your donation in any amount goes directly to that scholarship fund. Now, to the moment everybody has been waiting for, the introduction and induction of the 17 women we are here to honor tonight. As each inductee is introduced, we will view a short video in which the inductee will answer questions about their career path, the role education and mentors played in its evolution, and what they find most rewarding about their chosen career. Now, if you downloaded the digital program for this evening's event, you will find additional information about each inductee. The download can be found on the website where you made the donations and bid on the silent auction items. By the way, did you see the beautiful glass art pieces and the Valero golf package in the silent auction? Lots of good stuff there. But right now, we want to go to the first induction of the evening, and that is Rose Monday. She is being recognized for her work in the field of athletics. Rose has blended her love of sports and objectives to help young women reach their highest potential in a sport. She has motivated and empowered young women at the local, national, and international levels. Let's hear what Rose has to say.
Mom was very influential in my life from a standpoint of pushing me to always be better, try out for everything. She says, you don't know what you like, Rose. Try out for cheerleading, try out for the student play, try out for student body vice president, all of which were extremely painful because I was very, very shy. But I'm glad that she forced me into those roles because honestly, through sophomore year in high school, I had a hard time even raising my hand to talk because my heart rate would go 180. I continue to take certification courses and I'm 60 because there's always something new to learn. Never feel like, hey, I know it all. I don't know it all. I look at my notes all the time. Each week when I'm doing my training plans, I pull out my notes. I've got my binders from every year and, hey, what did they do 2 years ago at this time of year? Let me look at this. And I see things that we've done before or we could do differently now, or, oh my gosh, I forgot about those. And when I go to clinics and I listen to my mentors and I think, it affirms what I do. It reminds me of things that I don't do anymore, and I always learn something new. So always continue to learn. I think that's the most important thing.
Thank you so much, Rose, for your continued support of young women in athletics. The second inductee tonight is Kim C. Ford, who is recognized for her role in the areas of business and finance. Kim is known for her expertise in the world of financial forensics. Kim's desire to empower women to succeed in business is the driving force in everything she does. Kim shares more during this short video.
I have had many mentors in my life, and from a young age of starting out working in high school, I worked for a CPA. That's when I realized I wanted to be a CPA, and then came back and worked for him after a couple of years of college, and decided that I just really wanted to take a semester off of college. And he went to him and said, I think I'm going to do that. And he looked me square in the eye and said, well, after Labor Day, there's no job for you here. Basically saying, get your tail back up to school and finish college. And so that was an amazing mentor for me. And he's been a mentor all through my career. I've had many wonderful women who have mentored me that I've looked up to, that have truly helped guide me to still be a woman and be soft and caring and compassionate and be tough in a man's world as well. So that's been just a godsend for me. Eleanor Roosevelt has a quote. She says, do something that scares you every day. And that's on my refrigerator. And I will tell you that there are so many things that I do every day that scare me because I get out of my comfort zone. But that's the only way that we grow. And, and do I stumble and fall? Yeah, I do. But at the end, I've learned something and I'm ready to take that on the next time that it comes around.
Thank you, Kim, for your philanthropic work and for encouraging the same in your business group and the community. We are so grateful to many of our sponsors for their support of this annual event. Sponsors like the Port of San Antonio, HEB, and AAA Auger Plumbing Services. We have so many companies and organizations supporting this event tonight, so thank you so much. Now, our next honoree is the Reverend Claudette A. Copeland. She is the 2020 Hall of Fame inductee in the area of civic leadership. Dr. Copeland has focused on civic leadership ever since she was in high school, and she became a licensed evangelist. Her guidance and organizational skill has allowed her to organize several conferences and community groups with the goal of empowering women. Let's listen in as Dr. Copeland provides inspiration for our YWLA students.
In our journey to perform, and in our journey to matter, and in our journey to make our marks, which all high-performing women, I think, do, it's so important not to forget. It's important to know that after it's all said and done, your family will be the one who stands by your bedside to hand you a glass of water when all the applause is over and when the crowds have dispersed. I would just appeal to those of us who are women to honor our own womanness and the blessings of our careers and the blessings that we make in the marketplace. We thank God for them, but also let's never forget what matters. The blessings of your children and your spouse, or the blessings of your singleness, if that is what God has intended for you. But not to forget our humanness and the beauty that our womanness brings to the equation. You don't have to try to be something else. The blessings of the breast and the womb, the blessings of the softness of the hand and the clarity of eye. Offer your womanness, for it is the ingredient that is so uniquely a blessing to others. And don't forget your family.
I can see why Reverend Copeland was selected. Just an amazing woman, part of our community here in San Antonio. Empowering young women, that is part of the Women's Hall of Fame mission. And tonight, you have an opportunity to provide encouragement to the students at the Young Women's Leadership Academy by making a donation on the website. Just click the button marked donations, and any amount benefits these young women. Our next category is communications, and the inductee is Gisela Gerard. If you live or have visited San Antonio, you've seen Gisela's work. Her successful communications campaigns have launched development and groundbreaking events throughout the city, including the restoration of San Fernando Cathedral, just beautiful, the evolution of Luminaria, and many others. Gisela has a few more ideas to share with us today.
Average age of our employees at our agency is quite young. We skew it on the older end, but they're quite young. Some are right out of school. Some have had several jobs before. But when they come to us, I think it opens their eyes and they see what they can do. They see what they're capable of. And, you know, oftentimes it's a stepping stone to something else. And so I'm always happy to see where they are today because they've landed in positions that couldn't have happened without that fundamental training and that experience that we gave them. And occasionally, some that have, you know, flown the nest will text or email or message me and say, gosh, I didn't realize how much I learned from you and Al till I left. So that's really quite gratifying to hear when someone appreciates the opportunity that you gave them. So for anyone young considering what to do, there's one thing I will always recommend: have gratitude for those that gave you opportunities. As a closing thought, there's something that I would say: always have the utmost honesty, integrity in everything you do. And always handle yourself with poise, with grace. Never look back. Just remember to always look forward.
Thank Thank you so much, Gisela, for your work in keeping us all informed of the great projects coming up in our area. Now, in the category of creative arts, Kathleen Weir-Vale is the inductee tonight. Kathleen's career background may be in the family business, focusing on medical equipment. However, Kathleen allows her creative instincts to take the lead when necessary. Her role in the restructured funding for the San Antonio Symphony brought this essential artist element back to life recently. Let's hear what Kathleen feels is most important in her career.
The thing about these two careers of mine seem very different, but the similarity is that these external forces of life come in and are imposed on one. It's how you deal with those forces, how you deal with those changes that makes for success or failure. It's very important not to be spooked by change. We must embrace it. We must absolutely go right through it with our best knowledge, being humble but bold. And above all, we must follow our bliss. We must follow what we love, and we will be much better at what we're doing. At the end of the day, we're all placed on this earth to serve. Some of us are lucky enough to be able to serve humanity, our fellow human beings, and be paid for it. And sometimes, and very, very often, that's not the case. And so if you're not feeling like you're serving in what you're doing for a living, but you are part of something that's greater than you are, that's wonderful. If you don't feel that, seek other avenues to be of service.
Kathleen exemplifies the notion that we use our creative talent to solve problems. Now, as you look through the downloadable copy of the program, you're going to see that many of tonight's honorees are also sponsors or made donations to the silent auction. Now, they believe in the mission of the organization to support the goal of higher education for the students. Dr. Deborah Lynn Valdez is the 2020 inductee in the category of Education K through 12. Dr. Valdez exemplifies what we might all imagine an educator to be. She is widely recognized for her innovation and leadership in the Northeast Independent School District, as well as an adjunct professor at Texas A&M San Antonio. Currently, Dr. Valdez uses her background and her expertise to help coordinate the efforts to provide one-on-one support to improve the reading skills of children. Deborah's thoughts regarding mentoring are important. Here's what she had to say.
Accept the fact that your life is not always going to be what you thought it was going to be. Or a lot of negative things that might happen we look at as opportunities. And if you keep that kind of an attitude, you can recreate yourself over and over and over again. Now, have I always been completely selfless? No. Would I have liked to have made a little bit more money in my career? Yeah, I think we all would have liked that. But just think of when you look back at your life, and this happens with teachers, and this happens with people that work in nonprofits, they actually can see that they've made a difference. How many people can say that in their career choices, you know? So I think that's the advice I would give. Find something you like to do, be persistent, accept change, you know, when things don't necessarily pan out the way you thought they were, you know, go down another road. I've reinvented myself probably at least 3 or 4 times over the span of my life and my career, and it's been okay.
Thank you, Dr. Valdez. In the category of higher education, Dr. Cynthia Teniente Matson is tonight's inductee. Now, who better to lead Texas A&M University at San Antonio than someone who grew up just blocks away from the current campus? Dr. Matson's leadership has brought new and innovative instruction, as well as implemented experiential learning and civic engagement to the students' graduation plan. Let's hear Dr. Matson's thoughts on empowering women.
Life is about trade-offs, and you have to make choices about your time. And I certainly am very blessed to have had a family that was supportive, but I certainly, from time to time, know that I gave up spending time with my kids or my family or my husband and doing things that might have been enjoyable as a family while I was pursuing both my MBA and then later my doctorate. So those are choices as women that society hasn't really fully caught up with. How do you continue to grow and develop professionally in careers where advanced degrees are required, or even in careers where more than 40 hours a week of work are required while you're raising families and trying to get ahead? One of the other important attributes about myself and the job that I have is my belief and commitment to being a visible role model in South Bexar County. And I live in Harlandale, and sometimes students will ask me, where do you live, Dr. Matson? Do you live in Bernie? Do you live in Alamo Heights? And it brings me great pride to say I live right here in South San Antonio, and you can get there from here. And not only do I believe in you, the whole community believes in you. But a big part of that is being visible and being authentic and reminding people that all doors are open from right here in South Bexar County. I've lived in multiple states, in multiple places, and everyone can.
Leaders like Dr. Matson make education an ever-evolving learning opportunity. Now, I spoke earlier about making a donation to the Young Women's Leadership Academy, the Scholarship Fund. Well, I am delighted to introduce you to one of the graduates of YWLA and a scholarship recipient. You are going to love Dominique Cameron. Because of her studies and keeping with the current pandemic health requirements, our interview was conducted via Zoom.
So I grew up on the east side of San Antonio, and people that are from San Antonio know it's not the greatest side of town. Gang violence, a lot of just bad things that children shouldn't be exposed to, and sometimes they are just due to their circumstances. My mom has always worked. She's been working for AT&T since she was 19 years old, like back when it was Southwestern Bell. And when I was in high school at the time, she was married. And I would say that we were about lower middle class, but we were never able to move out of the east side of San Antonio just due to, continuously being in debt and things like that. My mom really emphasized the importance of getting a secondary education when I was growing up because it wasn't stressed upon her. When she graduated high school, the big thing was you need to get a job, versus me. When I graduated high school, she said, you are going to college, you don't have the option. She knew that she wasn't going to be able to afford it, so she pushed me to apply for a bunch of scholarships. And of course, I had the help of our college-bound advisor when I was at YWLA. And so when I did receive the scholarship, amongst the many other scholarships that I received, all of them came together to help me pay for my room and board when I went away to Xavier University of Louisiana. And it was a big deal because I was going to be so far away from home. I had no family. My mom could only do so much, especially because I had a younger sister still living at home. They still had bills to pay. And something that college students joke about is that FAFSA acts like our parents' income is going directly into our education, and that's not the case. Just for me, being able to have the scholarship meant that I could pursue my secondary education. And I know a lot of people in the Black community feel like, yes, I can graduate high school. Yes, going to college is a possibility, but I can't afford it. So why would I even make that effort? And the same thing applies now that I'm in medical school. A lot of Black students aren't in medical school right now because they can't afford it. And it's really discouraging. I mean, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars of loans right now just so that I can be here. But it's intimidating to think, wow, I'm going to owe so much money when I'm done. I'd rather just not. I think being a woman and just having that drive was really my motivating factor for applying for scholarships. And then once I got it, it was like, you know what, the sky's the limit. My message would be that what you're doing, supporting young women, is so, so, so important, because, you know, we have glass ceilings that we're trying to break. And a lot of us have the drive, have the motivation, but we don't necessarily always have the means. And it's really important that we continue to support the women that are coming up underneath us. All of you that are sitting in this gala right now had to climb through some obstacles, know that it wasn't easy. And I feel like a financial obstacle shouldn't be anything that keeps young women back from succeeding. So that's really why this scholarship is so important.
Isn't Dominique Cameron inspirational? Now you can continue to make donations to the Scholarship Fund using the website and click on the donation button to encourage other YWLA graduates to continue their education beyond high school. Now know that the proceeds from tonight's event are also added to the Scholarship Fund. Now the past year has had us all thinking about how our health and well-being more often than probably any time in the past. San Antonio's Women's Hall of Fame knows how important the members of the health professions are, and that's why they've selected Erica G. Gonzalez, MD, as the 2020 inductee. Dr. Gonzalez has shared her training and skill in the medical field while in the military, being the chief of allergy and immunology at the San Antonio Children's Hospital, provided the drive to open her own practice with a group of other medical professionals. Now, Erica continues to provide clinics and family health training in the community. Dr. Gonzalez shares her experiences.
Good mentors all along the way, and I tell people all the time that if it wasn't for the mentors that I had growing up in all the different stages of my life, then there's no way that I'd be here today. So that the things I have now did not come because I did this by myself. No one could really do it by themselves. It's because I had people that believed in me, and I had people that, you know, were able to kind of endorse me and support me through it all. Yeah, so one of the things that I really believe in, because I feel so fortunate to have had such great mentors, that one of the things that I think they would want to see, and something that I feel like it's my responsibility, is now to be able to do that for other young professionals coming up, whether it's in medicine or in other fields, that it's my responsibility now to do what somebody did for me and help them get to where they want to go. So, you know, I think that one of the things that young women need to keep in mind is that they should never be afraid to go for something. I think that a lot of times people, even with the best interest in mind, they have the best intentions, will tell you, well, you know, maybe you shouldn't do that, and they give you all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. And so that happened, you know, along the way in my career. And my, you know, perspective was like, well, you know, how am I going to know unless I try? So I think that they should always go for what they want to, go after their dreams, because there always has to be somebody to pave the way, and maybe they're the ones. So that even if no one else has done it or even thought about it, that they should be encouraged to say, you know, well, maybe I'll be the first, and so take that step to get there.
And we are so glad Erica is in San Antonio during this time of heightened health awareness. Now, right now, we want to thank a few more of the sponsors that we have this evening. Methodist Healthcare Ministries, the University of Texas Health Science Center, Lighthouse for the Blind, Lone Oak Village Incorporated, among many others, as you can see scrolling along the bottom of the screen. Now, our next inductee is Mona Helmy. She is the 2020 inductee in the category of Innovations. Mona can teach us about a thing or two about facing adversity, about facing hardship and recession. What she can also tell us about is how to overcome those and implement changes that result in a positive and economically stable environment. Mona believes and advocates for Made in the USA and Made in Texas in order to bolster our economy. Let's see what we can learn from Mona Helmley.
You know, it's both. You can pick mentor, but at the same time, mentors pick you, and it's up to you to notice that and allow them to guide you. I've had a few amazing ladies that they actually picked me, and because of them, I am who I am today. I would love to advise with one thing. I want to tell everybody that life is so beautiful, and it's full of amazing things, but it's full of hardships also. And it's those hardships that can break us or make us. So enjoy life, enjoy all the good days, but be prepared for the bad days, because they will come sooner or later. And when they come, we need to be ready. We need to tackle the situation. We need to be who we are, and we need to solve the issue. Because one thing, I am so looking forward, and I think we all can say that when we're ready, getting ready to exit this universe, we want to be singing Frank Sinatra. We want to say, I faced it all, I stood tall, and I did it my way.
Mona, we need to follow your example and show our pride and commitment to Made in Texas. Don't you love that slogan? Yes, we do. Now, our next category is law, and Barbie Scharf-Zeldes is the 2020 inductee. Barbie has used her experience with probate court and family law to enhance the lives of so many women. Her goal is to always help the individual to identify the next positive steps to move into a better position. Barbie's leadership and organizational skills are also widely recognized in the local Jewish community. I know you will enjoy Barbie's philosophy for motivation and encouragement of others.
But what I've also realized over time is that every person I meet, I learn something from. And we need to be open to accepting those ideas, their thoughts, or just really their life's experiences. We can learn from them as they share with us. Have faith in yourself. There are no right or wrong answers. We all have a different path to take, to follow, and just never stop learning, because we are constantly evolving, constantly growing. The person that I am now is not the person I was at age 18. And for a long time, I thought it has taken me decades to realize I'm not 18 years old sitting with a stack of papers. I used to say I have pads, pens, they've given me a desk, and they've told me to fake it till I make it. But I think when you embrace what's around you and trust yourself, because people are going to make you question yourself all the time. Trust that you can make the right choices for you.
Now, haven't we seen a common theme tonight? Encouragement and empowerment, just what these young women at the YWLA need. So remember, you can make a donation to their scholarship fund, and also you can purchase something, make a bid on the silent auction, because it has so many opportunities for you to find a unique gift for somebody or someone, a little something maybe even for yourself. The silent auction is going to continue until midnight tomorrow, March 14th, so don't let someone outbid you on that special item. I also have some bids on the wine and dine baskets, and that's going to be a fun one, so keep a lookout for that one. So, San Antonio was officially designated Military City USA a few years ago. It's not surprising that we have not one but two honorees in the category of military. Our first inductee is Glenda Rakelin. Now, Glenda rose to the rank of colonel in the Air Force during a time when there were very few women in the Air Force and even fewer in leadership positions. Her leadership always exemplified strength, integrity, and most importantly, the safety of those people and the equipment under her command. I'm interested in what Glenda has to say about motivation. So here it is.
In reality, I didn't have mentors as we call them today, but I had a lot of good examples of what to do and what not to do. But what I would tell a young lady that might be considering going into the Air Force or in any military is to find a female, because when I went in, only 18% of the force was females. Now it's in the top 20s. So now find a female that you can mentor, that can mentor you or you can talk to, and just keep your nose clean and to the grindstone and you'll do well. Well, if I wanted to leave a message for a young lady just getting out of high school, getting ready to enter college, I'd say do not give up your dreams. Anything is attainable as long as you continue to work at it and dig deep, get the grit, and you'll make it.
Thank you, Glenda, for your service and your leadership. Now, the second recipient in the military category is Carolyn Snyder. Carolyn's recognition and achievements were created in another branch of the military, in the Navy. Carolyn has the title of being first woman in several roles in the Navy. Her work recently involves proposal development for the aerospace defense contractors. With a career of firsts for women, let's hear what Carolyn has to say.
The thing that I really enjoyed the most about my Navy career, and that was being a leader and a mentor and working with my young sailors. And that's probably the most rewarding part that I had during my Navy career, was being able to see them grow and to be able to feel like I had a part in making them a better technician, making them a better person, making them a better sailor. So the message that I would have is that every day is an opportunity to learn something new. Take it. Don't assume just because you have now graduated from whether it's high school, whether it's college, whether it's a master's or a doctorate that you're done. Every day is an opportunity to learn and to add something new to your repertoire of skills and knowledge. So take advantage of it.
Thank you, Carolyn, for paving the way for the young women of the Young Women's Leadership Academy. Now, I just want to remind you all joining us tonight one more time that the silent auction is continuing after this event is over. Now, I saw some earrings in the silent auction. They looked pretty cute, so I hope I still have a high bid on that. I'm not sure I do, but check them out and check all the other items out in the virtual gala. Now, in our induction ceremony today, we're going to keep bidding even after the event is over. The silent auction does not close until midnight tomorrow evening, so you have some time to keep checking back on your items. Now, Lourdes Castro Ramirez is the inductee in the category of public service. Lourdes' career summary in the program gives us a glimpse of her goals and dedication to public service. Ms. Castro Ramirez has served at the local, state, and national levels to ensure that housing remains a priority in governmental planning. Lourdes' skills were so widely known and valued that the governor of California called her away to serve as the Secretary of Business, Consumer Affairs, and Housing in California. Here's Lourdes.
So I really believe that it's important to surround yourself by people within your family, within your work, within your community that can give you feedback and that can reinforce and kind of nurture your confidence and spirit. Know who you are and where you come from, and use that as a source of strength to carry you forward in whatever endeavor or goal or effort that you're involved with. I think it's important for us to remember, who we are and where we come from, and to embrace that and to be proud of that. I also think that it is important to surround yourself by people that not only will support you, but also individuals that will challenge you to think and grow. But then I would just say that don't be afraid to take the next big step. Don't be afraid to take on more responsibility. Don't be afraid, to do something that gets you in an uncomfortable place, because that's really the opportunity for you to grow, to shine, and to have greater impact. So do it. Adelante.
Lourdes, thank you for sharing your skills with us and now in California. So many of you are enjoying the charcuterie box and the accompanying bottle of Prosecco tonight. Those of you who selected to donate the cost of that box to the Scholarship Fund, well, we thank you for your donation. It's another way that you are helping the graduates of YWLA. Now, a community grows because of the public service of individuals within the community. Our second recipient in the category of public service is the Honorable Bonnie J. Connor. Bonnie's life work has focused primarily on water. Now, because of recent incidents, we all know how important water is in our daily lives. Bonnie's conservational focus and goal of a better environment was acknowledged by the city when a park was named after her, the Bonnie J. Connor Park in North San Antonio. Let's hear what Bonnie has to say.
I never saw myself as being in politics. We'll go ahead and use that word. But that's what it is. And I felt like I could make a difference. Maybe that's a trite kind of statement. But I felt like I did. And that's a very, very, very good feeling to be able to do that. And so, as I say, I consider myself just a volunteer, and I hate to say just, but that's really what it is when you're doing a lot of things that I have been doing. I would say the most gratifying is to be able to look back from where I am now and to realize that yes, I have accomplished some things, because sometimes when you're involved in public service or a job, you actually don't know what the end result is going to be. So I do have the advantage of looking back and seeing that there have been things that have been accomplished that's really for the benefit of the citizens of San Antonio. So that's a very good feeling.
Thank you for your dedication to San Antonio, Bonnie. Another thank you to our sponsors for their support of this event and the Young Women's Leadership Academy. You have seen their logos on the website, and you'll also find the list in the digital program. Organizations like Andrade Vanderput, Texas A&M San Antonio, Creative Civilizations, your support is so important to the success of this event and the YWLA students. Jordana Barton is being recognized this evening for her work in the area of technology. Ms. Barton's goal is to bring technology to everyone in the areas of community, all areas. Her goal is to eliminate the digital divide so that everyone has access to the same resources and information. Jordana wants to share the following message with us.
I really came to this career in an unexpected way. When I was your age, I didn't know that a career like mine existed. It's such an incredible opportunity. I took the route of first becoming a teacher because I felt that is where you can have the most impact to help young people to find what their life's work is and create opportunities through education, to create assets and to create opportunities for young people like you and for the community to be able to prosper and break some of the barriers to upward mobility that exist in our society. I feel very motivated to do the work that I do because it really changes people's lives and it really challenges the status quo or the way that things have always been. It was a circuitous path. I didn't know at the time, but now I see that there was really a golden thread guiding my way where I am now. And now I'm able to bring together all of the knowledge from my education and from my career path into this one position where I can have a chance to be my best self. And I certainly am doing my life's work. I grew up in Benavides, Texas, near the Texas-Mexico border. And it was considered a colonia, or a place without adequate housing and infrastructure. And indeed, the educational system, there weren't very high expectations for the students. You know, teachers along the way and people along the way that really took me under their wing and taught me things that had taken them a lifetime to learn, and they were willing to teach me. So the people that you meet in your life are going to be critical to your future. So it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was a privilege. And all along the way, the most gratifying has been that I have been able to bring significant investment into low-income communities and work hand in hand with those communities so that we created permanent assets in those communities and really got to invest in the human capital that is there and really transform people's lives and create a permanent and lasting change and opportunity for communities.
Jordana, tonight we are using technology to eliminate the divide that could have prevented friends and family from seeing the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So great work out there. With the changes that have come about in the past year, it is no wonder that we have another honoree in the category of technology, Catherine Burzik. Catherine's background has prepared her for the many leadership roles she has held. However, in her current role, she is able to combine technology and science while leading the way for development of new medical devices and scientific tools. Let's hear Catherine's thoughts about her career and contributions to our community.
So, I'm probably as busy now as I was before when I was running KCI and doing businesses. But, I have a lot of choice about what I do. And I think, what I tell everyone when you get to the point in your career, I always tell people when you wake up in the morning and you put your feet on the ground, you better be happy with what you're doing. And if you're not, go find something else to do because life is short and you have to feel like you're making a difference. I'm very fortunate that in 1979 I found a field that I love to this day. I've moved across different companies, I've moved to different positions, I've moved in different aspects of healthcare, but it's pretty much always been healthcare once I discovered that. So I tell people, find your passion, pursue your passion, behave ethically, surround yourself with people with great character, and you only have one life to live, so you better live it the best way that you know how to do.
And Ms. Burzig, we look forward to future developments and changes in technology. Now, you can download a copy of the program that details the success of our inductee by using the link on the website where you're placing bids for the silent auction. In that program, you'll also find many ads, which also represent the support of even more organizations, businesses, and individuals who are so proud of these women and their accomplishments. Any organization and community could not function or grow without the dedication of volunteers. Erlinda Cifuentes is tonight's inductee in the category of volunteerism. Ms. Cifuentes has had her focus on the community and what can be done to make it better since her days at Edgewood High School. This hometown girl's heart is in the community of San Antonio, especially focused on improving the lives of women and families. Erlinda had these thoughts to share.
Some of my biggest mentors in life have been, well, first of all, my grandmother, Elena. She would always tell me, échale ganas, hija. Échale ganas y camina con la cabeza derecha. No te dejes que te quiten tu esperanza en nada. And then, of course, there was always my mom who would always say, haz todo de corazón y te salen las cosas bien. And that has been a truth that I have lived with. So every time I help someone, I do it from within and with a passion, and things work out. The wonderful thing about some women that have overcome their issues, their challenges, is that some have gone on. One in particular was a daycare worker. And when she says, I'm tired of this job, I want to do something different. I says, okay, let's see what you can do. I helped her along. She became a substitute teacher for some years, and then she accomplished her dream job. She became an assistant to the principal. That was just amazing. It made a world of difference for her. And then on helping students, when these students from HISPA, which is Hispanics Inspiring Students' Performance and Achievement, these students learned about HISPA in 8th grade. Today, those students are freshmen, sophomores, and juniors in college, and they're role models in the HISPA program. That says it all. It's worth every minute.
What an amazing group of women who helped shape, transform, and move San Antonio forward. Congratulations to each of you on your induction into the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame. I applaud you for your dedication, determination, and commitment to your careers, your goals, and to San Antonio and its surrounding areas. If we had an in-person audience, I know that everyone would be standing and applauding you and your induction into the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame. Now, we are coming to the end of our program, so I want to thank all of our wonderful sponsors for supporting this event tonight and the women at the Young Women's Leadership Academy. I also want to thank the San Antonio Women's Hall of Fame Board of Directors and members for allowing me to introduce the 2020 inductees into the Hall of Fame. Remember to continue to support their mission by making a donation and by continuing to participate in the silent auction. The silent auction does not close until midnight tomorrow night, Sunday, March 14th. So keep on bidding. And for now, thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. Be well and good night.